We're also monitoring what's going on in New Hampshire. We're in a verdict watch in the bad breakup murder trial. 49-year-old defendant Victor Rivera faces second-degree murder. That's the top charge in connection to the shooting death of his ex-girlfriend Patricia Swett and her new boyfriend Matthew Champagne outside of Slade's Food and Spirits. This is a bar and restaurant where all three of them frequented. The defendant was a fixture at Slade's. The jury has been instructed on 2 lesser included offenses, so they have a lot to choose from here, including reckless manslaughter and negligent homicide to go along with that top charge of second-degree murder. Now, Rivera's defense attorney has argued that his client never formed criminal intent. Let's go into the courtroom. Earlier this morning, while we were watching the grandmother trial in Florida, both sides delivered their closing arguments to this jury. Let's listen to a bit of the defense's close.
So the central issue in this case, and I think the issue that you have to decide when you deliberate is, what was going on in Victor Rivera's head when he shot and killed Matthew Champagne and Patricia Swett? There's really no dispute that he did shoot and kill Matthew Champagne and Patricia Swett. I really hope that's been clear that I and Victor do not dispute that. So what this means, it focuses the issues that you have in front of you. It doesn't make it simpler, unfortunately, but I think it does focus things. And by that I mean there's a lot of evidence you have heard that proves pretty clearly that Victor did shoot and kill Matthew Champagne and Patricia Swett, but doesn't offer you much illumination on what was going on in his head when he did it. For example, Dr. Weinberg. I think Dr. Weinberg's testimony clearly shows, beyond any shadow of a doubt, that Matthew Champagne and Patricia Swett both died from gunshot wounds in a diagram. But it doesn't illuminate you on what Victor was thinking when he did it. And you might try to, I think there might be a natural element of you to try and figure out, based on Dr. Weinberg's testimony, which shot was done when, and was this wound caused by the first shot Victor did or by a later one? You can try that. I certainly wouldn't tell you not to, but I would caution that even Dr. Weinberg, who's done, I think he lost count of the number of autopsies he's done, is not comfortable doing that. So I don't think you can get there. Or another example, Jill Theriot. I think her testimony shows quite conclusively that the gun that Victor had on him was the gun that shot and killed Matthew Champagne and Patricia Swett. But again, it doesn't offer you particular illumination on what was going on in Victor's head when he did it. I think there are a few other things that you heard last week that I would say fall into that category. Stuff that proves an issue that I cannot imagine is in dispute in any of your heads. So I want to talk about what I think the evidence is that does illuminate what was in Victor's head. I mean, for the obvious one, the screen share, I'm not going to be using it for this closing, just in case any of you were thinking that. But the shooting video certainly does. It shows what happens. I imagine that the 12 of you are going to be watching that repeatedly. One thing I would suggest, you're going to get a computer, I think it's an ordinary sized laptop, yay by yay. It's not, and you're going to have copies of all the videos you saw. So you can go back and play, you can go frame by frame if you want of the shooting video. I would suggest, and take it or leave it, that one of the first things you do is figure out how you're going to divide up that computer. Maybe the foreperson controls who's playing it, or someone else decides what to do with it. But honestly, that screen is not big enough for all 12 of you to be sitting around it looking. So if you just figure out some way how you're going to watch it, I think that would help you a lot. But beyond that, and just so you know, I'm going to go through the evidence of what happened before the shooting, then I'm going to get into the shooting and Victor's testimony about what was going on in his head when he did the shooting. So, one of the disputes you've seen at trial is what sort of precipitated Victor doing the shooting. I think the state's theory in opening was that Victor saw Matthew and Patricia together, and this was the first.
Yeah, then he went and got his gun and shot them both. That was a bit of the defense.